A girl named Oznur and her friend go to visit Isan, a man who used to perform black magic. She asks him to get an answer from a demon about her future, whether she will marry her aunt-son Kudret or not, to which the demon uses her friend as a medium and says her to stay away from him as he is her destruction, who will lead her to death. 12 years later, Oznur was visiting Kudret in his shop, and it seems as if Kudret was married, whereas Oznur was a widow as her husband had died. They both had an affair, and as a result, Oznur became pregnant. She tries to force him to leave his wife and marry her. As the fight progresses, Kudret slaps Oznur, which results in her fall and abortion of the pregnancy. Later that night, he goes to sleep, and in the dream, he sees his daughter holding 2 eyes in her hand and asking his help to have it replaced. Scared, Kudret wakes up and sees his daughter and feels guilty as he was the cause of her disability. During pregnancy of his wife, if she was taken to hospital minutes before, Seydas' eyes can be saved, and he delayed because he didn't believe that Nisa needed any emergency treatment. In the next day, Oznur visits Isan and asks him to use his black magic and kill Nisa as she wants to become Kudret's wife. Ishan tells her about a pig spell which makes a jinn to possess her and kill her in 5 days. But to curse the person he needs and biological object of the person like her hair, blood, or nail, and in photo to perform the spell. As Oznur was sure to kill Nisa, she asks him progress in the process. As she leaves, he kills a pig and takes out a buried human body for the curse. At the night, Oznur goes to visit Nisa and acts as a good aunt to Cheda. She then goes to restroom and collects Nisa hair in a sanitary pad. In the same day, she visits Isan and they perform the spell to curse Nisa. He assures her that her wish will come true in 5 days. On the first day early morning after the spell was performed, Nisa was praying, where suddenly a goat's head falls before her, which was the head they used for the curse, and scares her. In the morning, while she was cleaning Seydas' room, she sees a doll under the bed, and her whole demeanor changes and she starts to cut the doll's hair and swallows it. Later that night, Oznur was seen sleeping, where her dead husband scares her as he had killed himself because of her love for Kudret. Next day, the second day of the curse, Nisa was doing her household works, where suddenly her bedridden mother walks towards the kitchen and pours the hot soup on her head and kills herself. Nisa viewed the encounter. On the same night, morning prayers are held for her mother. Later, Kudret comes home, where the door suddenly opens and he hears his daughter's voice blaming him for her blindness. While he walks towards the room, 2 jins identical to Oznur and his wife scares him. Next day, third day, confused by all the incidents, Kudret goes to visit the cleric of the mosque for help regarding his situation. The cleric then tells him that his wife is possessed, and the jinn might have some issue with him. He then tells him about his past where he was in coma because of a jinn's obsession with his wife. His master helped him to overcome all the hurdles and taught him how to fight the jinns. He assures him that he will help him to save his wife. Later that night, while Nisa was sewing a dress, she heard a voice calling her and follows it to a toilet to see her mother there. She gets scared and runs to her bedroom crying. At that instant, Kudret enters the house to see his wife on floor sobbing. He tells her that the cleric decided to help them and that they will visit him tomorrow. On the 4th day night, the electricity goes out at Oznur house, and she hears a voice from her hallway and checks there to see Nisa holding her unborn baby and scares the hell out of her. She then calls Isan to ask for some details and doubts and tells him she has been seeing evil sights here and there. He assures her that she will be fine as she doesn't have any blood relationship with Nisa. Her mother-in-law here drops their whole phone conversation. Elsewhere, Nisa was sewing Seydas' dress when her demeanor suddenly changes and she gets a towel and tries to hang herself. While she was to pass out, Kudret enters the house and saves her. Without wasting time, he leaves his daughter to Oznur's mother-in-law and takes his wife to the mosque. Oznur, on the other hand, was having dinner where the food changes to leech worms. She tries to call for help where the jinn kills her by twisting her whole body. Kudret later reveals to the cleric about what Oznur's mother-in-law told him about Oznur's phone conversation. They both then take Nisa inside and start the exorcism, while Cheda was standing near the door without their knowledge. The cleric then closes Nisa's face with a cloth and performs the exorcism. He pours sacred water on top of her head and tells prayers. The jinn then starts to intimidate cleric with his wife. At the moment, he loses his control and hits in the head of Nisa with a log of wood, killing her. Seeing the encounter, Kudret grabs the neck of cleric with anger as he has killed Nisa. whereas Cleric sees Seda in the entrance and tells him that his wife was only under the influence and Seda was the one who was possessed. The twist is later revealed that the sanitary pad that was used in the curse was Seda's and not Nisa's. And Seda was the one who killed her grandma and her Aunt Osner. In the end, all were dead except the cleric. To get updates for the latest releases, hit the like and subscribe button.